No immediate measures from John Tory, Charles Sousa and Bill Morneau as they met to discuss Toronto's housing market. But a poll is out clearly showing what some in the city want done.
Yeah, few Torontonians have a couple of ideas, Francis, about what to do to cool off that scorching housing market. This new poll in from Campaign Research, and as you can see, 64% of Torontonians do want Ottawa to intervene in the housing market in one form or another. This is particularly prevalent among 18 to 34-year-olds. 70% of millennials want government intervention. 39% favor a foreign buyer's tax like they had out in BC. 17% want to see a vacant homes tax. As you say, Francis, no details just yet, but we did get that signal from Charles Sousa, the provincial finance minister, that we will see details in the provincial budget, which will be tabled next Wednesday.
And, you know, we know this is a topic that is on a lot of minds in Toronto because Google searches are revealing here that housing bubble is being looked at.
Yeah, this is very interesting. So we looked at Google Trends, and we're looking here at Canadian searches for the phrase housing bubble going back 14 years. And you can see the searches for housing bubble spike in Canada to levels we haven't seen before just within the last 2 months, way up there at the end, just within the last 2 months. Now, if we take a look at the U.S. searches for housing bubble, also going back 14 years, you see we saw a similar spike in the U.S. in 2005 when the U.S. housing market was going bonkers. Of course, housing prices plummeted in the U.S. by 2007. So some are looking at this data, Francis, and they're extrapolating it, and they're saying perhaps it's showing that we are reaching maybe a bit of a breaking point in the housing market.
But there is another investment that has grown even more than Toronto's housing market, even more than Apple stocks. This surprises me. It's comic books.
Yeah, the returns have leaped tall buildings with a single bound. Check your basement, Francis. Comic books are hot. In fact, the comic book market, it's been red hot for a while. Take a look at this. The detective copy of Action Comics #1. This was the first comic Superman appeared in. It sold back in 2001 for $285,000, a big price tag. But today, it's bringing in $2.8 million or more. How about Detective Comics #27? The first time we saw Batman. It sold in 2001 for $240,000. Today, it's bringing in $2 million. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. You could get that for just $200 back in 2001. Today, if you have it, you could sell it for $4,000 or more. Walking Dead #1. This came out only in 2003, and it sold for about $200, or so it sold for just $2.95 then. Now it brings more than $1,000. You know, buyer beware, Francis. Not every comic book is going to see these type of returns, but still, it's a hot market for investors right now, believe it or not.
But if you have one of those, sell it, buy a three-bedroom house here in Toronto, I guess.
You could if you had the Batman or the Superman one, absolutely.
Yeah, no kidding. So some tough talk today from U.S. President Donald Trump on NAFTA, maybe surprising for some Canadians.
Sure. Just within the last hour, we had Trump kind of attacking the way that Canada deals with trade around specifically the dairy industry. So right now, the current system here in Canada limits the amount of dairy Canada can import before trade tariff kicks in. It's to protect the Canadian dairy producers. Changing the system is what Trump wants to do, right, to help out the U.S. dairy producers. Changing it would mean lower prices when we go to the grocery store. It also, though, could mean pain for the dairy producers in Canada, and it could mean pain for the Canadian economy. The dairy industry accounts for a significant amount of GDP. So these were the type of worries that we had, Francis, as far as what Trump wanted to do with trade and with NAFTA. Canada might be heading for a bit of a showdown with the U.S. over this one.
And it's worth noting there are a significant amount of dairy farmers here in Ontario.
Absolutely. Well, it's a big part of the economy, so they're not going to want to see any changes to the current system. Trump does.
Starbucks, they are coming out with what may be its strangest creation yet. So that is called a unicorn frappuccino?
It's called a unicorn frappuccino. I had a chance to try one today. They don't go on sale until tomorrow, and they'll only be on sale for a week at Starbucks Canada. It is made with a dusting of pink powder blended into mango cream frappuccino, layered with a sour powder topping. The idea here, Francis, is when you stir it, it changes color. It goes from purple to pink, and the flavor goes from sweet to fruity. Actually didn't taste too bad. I got a chance to try it out today. You can see my video on my Twitter account. What Starbucks wants to do, of course, they want products now that people take pictures of, that they put on Instagram. They want free advertising. This one certainly fits the bill, the unicorn frappuccino.
Does it come with pumpkin spice? Because
that would really be a hot seller. This comes with a cool little, pink type of dust. The kids are going to love it, I think, Francis. I don't know about the adults.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you, Richard.
Thanks.